bad boy Ben Diaz got himself another goal as Blackburn Rovers came from behind to salvage a valuable point and maintain that unbeaten start to the brand new EFL Championship season. But what about the rest of the team? How do they fare? How do they do? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, looking back at Blackburn Rovers. Solid point against a very tricky Millwall at the Den. Now we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, boys? Smash your subscribe to keep you bang up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, La Rocca related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Rooski, that's right, of course. Rovers unbeaten so far in the league, and then of course a bit of a bounce back, a bit of a recovery from our midweek shambles against Morecambe, and we'll take a look at all of that in just a second. A big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons, boys and girls. Thank you for your continued support as we're trying to get this team up to another level, as well as the channel as well. But anyway, let's get into the deep end then, shall we? Take a look back at, of course, the 1-1 draw. That's right. Millwall took the lead. They were the better side today, 100%. And to be fair, it's a little bit cheeky that we came away with the point. But to be honest with you, I would have bitten it off with you, bitten this off from your hand if you'd offered it at the start of the match. Millwall can be tricky. I know our recent results to get them have been fairly decent. I think only one loss in the past six occasions now. We can make that one loss at the past 7 now, as we managed to scrape away with a point. And to be fair, I'm very, very happy with this. When I looked at the start of the season, way back when, taking on Swansea at home, taking on Millwall away, taking on Forest away. I don't know how many points I would have taken off a year back then, but maybe 3. So we're already 1 up on that. So a not too shabby start to the season. Let's take a look at the numbers then, shall we? Of course, the match did end 1-1. Jed Wallace, of course, he does. He not a zinger this time around though. A bit of a tap in. I think the good work was done earlier with a diagonal pass, and it was laid on a plate for Jed Wallace tap home eventually to give Millwall probably the deserved lead at that stage. We'll break a look at the stats in a minute. As for Rovers, we did bounce back. Big bad boy Ben Diaz from a set piece, should I say. Rothwell with the delivery on point. There was Brereton Diaz to hammer home or head home the equaliser to make it 1-1. And to be fair, I was very, very content with that. I think Rovers started to push a little bit more towards the back end of this game, but ultimately we were shit. Diabolical. And I can show you that right here, right now, with the stats. Here you go. 15 shots from Millwall today, 8 of them on target. Possession 61% to our 39, which is 2 for 2 now in the league, where we've been the second best possession-based side. Aerial duels, we'll have a look at all of that in a minute. But 15 shots, 8 off target, none were saved. By Kaminsky between sticks. So he was there. It was all the defending, all the blocking, which you got to give credit to Ayala and Lenihan and all that kind of stuff for their efforts behind in front of the Kaminsky there. As you can see, free kicks 52 hour 8. But ultimately, yes, we were shit. We were dire, and I think Millwall will be the unluckier. They will go away with, of course, with the tears, because we of course were shit. Absolutely unbelievable. As you can see here from a bit more in-depth look at those statistics there. This is the completed 90 minutes. Big chances. Millwall had 1. They had 1 counter-attack, and they had 1 counter-attack shot as well. 10 shots within the box, 5 shots outside the box, and the keeper made 0 saves. As for the passes, 386 passes for Millwall on the day. 71% were completed, 42% long balls as well, and 26% crosses. Aerial duels 29-28 going in favour of Rovers, so that's pretty good. In fact, yeah, that's correct. Tackles down to the ground, 16 to our 7. So again, you know what? Unbelievable. The bench did not instill me with confidence. We'll take a look at the bench in a minute, and the starting lineups, and it did show a lack of depth, which we did play our 3 strongest substitutions, but you know, some came out of it with a bit of blaze of glory, some came out with it not too savvy. Let's take a look at the first half stats then. It was again all Millwall. They did press a lot on this first half. 8 shots for them, nothing for Rovers. Absolutely nothing in the first half. We were spectators as well. And again, 224 passes to our 122, pretty much doubled. The dribble 67% compared to our 33. I'm not sure what's changed. Of course, last season we were the possession-based side, but at the end of the campaign we were pretty poor in the back 15-20 games of the season. So maybe this strategy of less possession is going to be the key to our success. Again, we are papering over the cracks a little bit. We have come away with 4 points out of a possible 6, and it's not too shabby situation when we find ourselves in the league table, and we'll analyse all that in a minute. Let's take a look at the second half stats. A bit more recovery from Rovers here, 44% possession compared to 56. We did have a couple of shots again, two of them today. One on target, one off target, and one, of course, in the back of the net. 2 corners each on the second half. Big chances, we had 0. They had another big chance in the second half. 162 passes to 129. So it's definitely much more even in the second half. Let's take a little look at what else have I got going on here. The starting lineup. So Kowski between sticks, Wallace, Cooper, Ballard, the youngster at the back there. So not bad centre-back trio there with George Evans, Saville, McNamara, Malone, and Kifton made up your midfield. 5 in there, and Jed Wallace and Bedekofobi up top. Of course, he's on there on loan. As for their substitutions, we did see... did he come on? George Long? That can't be right. No, he didn't. Ryan Lander came on, Billy Mitchell as well, and Matt Smith, of course, up top to try and cause some problems. No Conan Mahoney, of course, ex-Rover there. As for Rovers, Kaminsky between the sticks, Ayala, Lenihan, Rothwell, Pickering, Nyambe, Travis, Gallagher, Diaz, Buckley and Dolan. Buckley and Dolan were removed. Dolan was removed at half-time to kind of mix it up a little bit. Pickering was also pulled as well. Of course, the substitutions were Hayden Carter came on for Dolan. I don't know what the shit this is, what this heck is. But anyway, Chapman did come on, 23-year-old these days, and of course Butterworth came on, and he was a bit of a dynamo when he came on to cause all kinds of problems for Millwall in the second half. Let's take a look at, of course, some of the match ratings then from who scored. They gave the man of the match for Malone with a 7.6, Biaskowski with a 5.9, Kaminsky with a 6.1. The goalkeepers, of course, pretty similar there. 6.6 for Cooper, 6.5 for Wallace, Ballard with a 6.8. In midfield, we have, of course, Malone with a 7.6, Sowell 6.5, Gifted about 6.3. Evans got a 6.9, McNamara with a 6.5, Afobe a 6.5, and Wallace with a 7.2. As for Rovers, we talked about Kaminsky, Nyambe with a, what is this, back 5 here? What a mess they're talking about here. Pickering with a 6.1, Roth with a 7.2, I don't know about that. Diaz with a 7.4. Ayala 6.6, 6.2, Nyambe with 6.2 as well. Travis 6.5, Gallagher 6.5. I have no idea what they've done with this formation. Absolutely clueless. You need some glasses. Who scored? Back 5. Back bloody 5 with Rothwell at the centre of defence. Do you even know what we're talking about? Gallagher in midfield. Diaz in midfield, Buckley up top. What? You have got a bloody Scooby-Doo, mate. Haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Of course, it's the shot grid here. These are Rovers' 2 shots, of course, I believe. This was Diaz's goal. And, of course, look at this long-range screamer by Millwall. Of course, I think it was in the first half. It was close. Yes, not great. We had 423 touches compared to 537. No woodwork was hit today, so yeah, we got out of jail on this one. Got out of jail, and I think Millwall will be a little bit. They'll be kicking themselves as I think 2 points drop for them. Rovers, though, happy with the point on the road. A very, very difficult point on the road. This is the heat maps. Of course, this is Millwall at the top end here. Coming down the right hand side was their ticket. As the Rovers coming down the right hand side, also that's an Nyambe effect, of course, even pushing forward up into this top right corner there. Kaminsky, one of the busier members of the field, even though he did hardly touch the ball, so I don't know what that's all about. Of course, this is another spread of play again. I don't know what they're talking about with this back 5. They have no clue. Of course, this is the action markers here, where the goals were scored, where the cards were given out. But ultimately, Rovers got out of jail. Of course, 1-1 draw, and of course, it continues an unbeaten start. But what about Mowbray? What did he think about the match? Here he is with his thoughts and, of course, his verdict after the final whistle.
Well, only the season will tell us how good a point it was, but on today's, their first league game back with a crowd, full stadium, it's and you know, I've been in football a long time, and it's one of the most intimidating stadiums to play football in. I think the noise that they can generate, the pressure they put on officials, it's a really tough place to come, and I thought generally we saw off their threats, but then to go down to a goal like we did, I mean, I have to say it was a brilliant goal. It's a change of play, one touch, brilliant cross and a finish at the back stick. But because I didn't really see them scoring, other than all these corners and free kicks, it was a danger. But we saw them off pretty well. I thought Ayala and Gallagher, Lenihan were amazing today. Their strength and their power, seen off a very, very physical team, and we showed some character to get the goal back, and I think we deserved it. And if anybody was getting stronger towards the end, it was us. So pleased with the point in a really, really difficult place to come, and delighted for the players there. So there's a lot of young players in that dressing room, and it'll stand them in good stead in their careers. Yeah, I thought we struggled a little bit first half. I think the longer the game went on, the more they knew what was at stake. Really, I think it was just a reminder at half time of what we are and who we are and the supporters who made the trip. And I thought we were better second half physically. I think I wouldn't question the big defenders or Gallagher's or Brereton's physicality. I thought in the midfield areas at times we were coming second best in the first half. Second half that wasn't the case, and we got stronger and we grew into the game, and we definitely deserve to take something from this game. Yeah, we do a lot of work on set pieces. To be honest, it's for and against. Sometimes you might not see the evidence. You might not see the evidence of that, but there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of standing and going through the drills and the quality that's expected. Sometimes it's difficult to reproduce on a match day with a big crowd, to reproduce the intensity on your training ground of the type of delivery, the runs, and but today it's great to score from a set play. It's great to not concede a goal against Millwall from a set play, especially when they bring the big lad on it. I mean, he is massive. Plus the centre halves that they had on the pitch, it was a real challenge for us, and we stood up to it today, and we'll take the point and move on. Beza, he'll be standing here telling you he learned that in Chile, probably out in South America. But listen, Beza's he's coming, he's growing into his body, he's getting the confidence of being a man now, I think, and delighted with the work ethic. Never mind the finishes, he's off the mark. He's scored 2 goals now in the first couple of games, and delighted for him, and good that he'd helped the team get a point today. I'm not sure Beza thinks as deep as that. I think he wants to do well for the team. I think he wants to do well for himself. I think there's an opportunity there for him as an international footballer now, with the confidence that gives you, and he's bringing it to the pitch. I think he works extraordinarily hard. He's so much better with his own physicality now than he ever has been at this club, and that's really helping him a lot, to be able to put his body in, to hold people off, to stick his backside in and spin around people. So he's becoming a real good player for us, and nobody will enjoy playing against Beza or Sam Gallagher. And I should mention Tyrese, who worked his absolute socks off first half. He never stopped running and closing down, and that's amazing how that helps the rest of the team when you're pressurising the defenders of the opposition. Yeah, okay, as you say, very different teams. One out-and-out football team trying to dominate possession, and one team that are very direct but a hugely physical team. The crowd in this place, which makes it feel like 10 times the numbers. I don't know what the crowd was, but times it by 10 for the numbers and the noise and the intensity that was in this stadium. And great credit to this group of players that they've dug out a draw, and we'll move on to the next one.
Meanwhile, what's been said on social media, we'll take a look then. So Adam Otsuki said, we'll take that. We weren't good, but ground out result at a place that is difficult for most teams this season. Onwards, the lads. Chris BRSC said, good point away at Millwall. That well done, lads. Sully, Solsters Inc. Said, never easy going down there, especially with their feral support back. 4 points from 2 games. Thumbs up, he says. El Scotty 2706 said, good end to the game. Play like that against Forest and we will win. Lewis Mann said, 4 points for the first 2 games is more than a satisfactory start to the league campaign. August was a difficult month on paper, and West Bromwich Albion will be a stern test on Saturday. A few reinforcements needed, but a positive beginning. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. We've got Forest first on Wednesday. Jay, aka Rovers 1872, said we've got to a tough place in Millwall and got a point, so I'll take it. But we can't just ignore the facts. That was a really poor performance, and a lot needs to be changed. Perform like that for the remainder of the season, and it's going to be a long one. Lucky today. Mubin Patel said Diaz is much better than Brereton, indeed. And Riley 08 Ben said not amazing, but not terrible. Good point on to Wednesday. Liz Lewis said it was a bloody dire at times, but we are back in numbers watching football, and our very own international sensation got on the score sheet. Plenty of time for the worrying later. It's a good day, a really good day. There he is, of course. Matthew Stanger said, one summer with Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal, Ben Diaz is scoring quality finishes and giving it the big one to the Millwall fans. Indeed he was. Andy Watson said, what a blooming header. Go on, Diaz, son. Marcus RTID, of course, the Swedish rover there, said Brereton Diaz 20 goals this season, and he's just to give us a bit of a reminder. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we'll throw this in here, of course. David Coutinho, a Southampton fan, says, thank you, Rovers. Of course, giving a man of Armstrong who did score today. Martin MJ Butterworth said, Butterworth has looked really bright since he's come on. Absolutely love the attitude of the team. Last 10 minutes, proper get in your face, aggressive football. Not easy to do in such an intimidating place against a good, solid physical team like Millwall. Better, Rovers. That's Adam Armstrong's goal. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've got on that regard. What's gone on elsewhere out in the Championship? Let's jump to the deep end and have a little look at it then, shall we? Of course, Peterborough, big win for them. Lastminute.com, 2 goals in the last 7 or 8 minutes, or deep in the stoppage time anyway. Derby looked like they'd won it, 70th minute with a goal, but Peterborough held on or dug deep and got the goal and the winner as well. Reading 2-1 winner against Preston. I've had a shit start to the season. Birmingham nil, Stoke nil, as the 2 other unbeaten starts to the campaign continue. Barnsley big winners over Coventry. Of course, you need those wins. Hull City, of course, big winners last weekend. Big losers this time around. 3-0 win. It's full circle. Millwall Rovers 1-1 game of the day. Of course, I called it as well. 2-1 win for Middlesbrough over Bristol City. Not a great start for them either. Blackpool lost at home against Cardiff. There's a bit of a shambles there. West Brom 3-2 winners over Luton. Good fight back for Luton, but not good enough. Fulham smashed put a statement of intent maybe over Huddersfield. Bournemouth 2-1 winners over Forest. Swansea and Sheffield United do get out to a 0-0 draw. That is, I'm updating that for you right here, right now. Take a look at the table as of right here. Of course, this doesn't reflect the Swansea Sheffield United one, but they are both on a point, so they'll probably be up to 17th and 18th respectively. And it'll put Forest, Preston and Huddersfield in the drop at the moment. As for the top of the table, Fulham lead the charge, of course, 4 points over possible 6. QPR up there as well, top 2 at the moment. Cardiff, West Brom, Bournemouth and Rovers are in the top 6. Let's end it right there. End it right there, of course. But it doesn't end right there. It continues, of course, into midweek as we take on Forest, the game of the day. Of course, Millwall take on Fulham in the Battle of All London affair at the Den. But also games taking place: Barnsley against Luton, Blackpool against Coventry, Swansea City against Stoke City, Peterborough up against Cardiff City, Huddersfield against Preston, Reading against Bristol City, Birmingham against Bournemouth, Hull against Derby, of course, Middlesbrough against QPR, and West Brom up against Sheffield United. A jam-packed midweek. But that, my friends, is where I'm going to have to leave you. Of course, I look forward to seeing you then. I don't know if we're going to have a watch-along for that one. Of course, I'm going to be at work. I think if there is something that changes or makes it work out that way, I will have a watch-along. But ultimately, I just don't think so. But so far, so good. I think Ben Diaz has made us forget Adam Armstrong already. 2 for 2 for him. He's already 8 shy of the double digits, and we're only at to match number 2. He's still into the heart of August. Yeah, big results for us. We'll take that all day long, and I will take that if you'd offered me that at the start of the match. But what are your thoughts and opinions as Rovers continue unbeaten so far, 4 points over possible 6? Can we bloody do it? Can we do it? And what about the transfer window? Can we get very busy in the last few days? We'll talk about all that as, of course, as that pans out. But until then, give the video some love, and I'll see you soon for the next. Until then, we are done.